Hello everyone, this is KeSetoKaiba, and today we have a short little announcement that I'm pretty excited with. Now normally the chess videos probably should be focused on chess and not purely announcements. I'll blend a little chess here and there just to make it more chess themed, but I'll make an exception for this one because this is a pretty big deal and I'll put this announcement out as a video. So, as a little backstory, the situation that we've had before was, of course, I had my regular headset, which I was pretty happy with. I thought, hey, it's cool just that I can communicate with the chess world. But as we know, it really wasn't the best that we had. It was just what we had to work with. And so, with that being said, sometimes I'd say a few things and maybe just a few parts here or there. Some of the comments have mentioned that I was getting cut off a little bit. And because of that, I don't want to be dropping a few syllables or a few words. We want a lot of clarity. We want this to be a quality thing. And so for our channel, the good news that we have is we have now upgraded microphone. So now I am using the Yeti Nano microphone, and I hope it really helps with the chess. So that's the good news for this video. Short little announcement that I think will help. But let's try and bring this back to chess, because I don't want this to be only a short announcement and just throw it out there and there we go. So let's actually play some chess moves just to kind of show this, get a little test for it. Hopefully this works. As a heads up, my subtitles are probably really going to hate what I'm about to do, but we're going to try it anyway. If the microphone picks this up, then I figure it'll probably pretty much pick up anything. So, alright, so here's our test. So, one of the openings that I used to play a long time ago, I was probably rated about 1700 back then, and this opening I had memorized. I knew it better then than I do now, because that was years ago, and I might remember the moves, but I might forget some of the subtle sidelines and nuances. But for this opening, I used to play it for both sides, primarily for white, but for a while when I was 1700, I played this for both sides, even with black. And so what opening am I talking about? So I used to play the Slav defense by repertoire. These are all book moves, all standard stuff so far. I would very aggressively take this c4 pawn as black. But I'd play it as white as well. And I would think, well, I can try and hang on to this pawn. Very greedy for material. And then I try and prove it in the endgame and trade everything down and reach this. And yes, this opening will reach an endgame. We have a4 trying to stop pawn to b5. Very logical move here. Finally, a developing move. Knight e5, also looking at the c4 pawn, e6, and now the very interesting looking pawn to f3. And it has a very natural idea. Of course, this f3 pawn is going to help support pawn to e4. And so here, this is a big problem. This bishop might get shut out of the game, and if it's on g6, it looks like it's out of play. And for the time being, people thought this was actually really bad for black. Perhaps it's not as bad as it looks. But here we have bishop to b4, of course, pinning this knight, help, put pressure on this e4 square. We play e4 anyway as white, and now the key to this whole thing here is we actually sacrifice the bishop and hope to get 3 pawns for it. And this is all opening theory. All of this I had memorized back then. It's actually kind of comical how well I knew this line, and occasionally I would get it. But here we have f takes back, we have knight takes. We have to break the pin here. Queen takes to get back their second pawn, so they're still down by a pawn. Knight captures on e4, queen recaptures back, queen e2 to block the check, bishop captures d2, king captures d2, queen d5 check, king c2 getting out of the way. Interesting move, knight a6, trying to avoid the knight trade, of course. And now, knight captures c4, and this is 15 moves of opening theory, and I actually knew moves past this. Most of my theory ended around, here to move 20 or so. And of course, the main moves for black here is they can castle king side, they can castle queen side, and they can also play pawn to b5. And all these are very common if you reach this position, and it's just an endgame. It's fairly equal. Both sides are equal in material. It is my assessment, I think white is slightly better in all these lines, and so this is why I stopped playing this for the black side. But, it's very theoretical. It's a really interesting thing I knew this deep. And so this is what I ended up getting. Now, the reason I show this, of course it's comical, is this long opening name that we have here. And I'll go to the chess.com opening explorer just to show this. See this comical thing here. Of course, we have some openings that go many moves deeper than just 15 moves. You know, Sicily and some lines can go 30, 40 moves deep. Rui Lopez, same thing. Some of those are absurdly long. However, we're not talking about how many moves it goes, but just the name. I mean, look at this. This is a pretty long name here. So as a quick test to see if this microphone works, my subtitles are probably going to hate this. We're going to try pronouncing this and see how well the microphone picks it up or not. So this is the Slav defense, modern Alpin variation, Czech Kraus Wiesbaden sharp line. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Bishop captures e4, move 8. F captures e4, knight captures e4, bishop d2, queen captures d4, knight captures e4, queen captures e4 check, queen e2, bishop captures d2 check, king captures d2, queen d5 check, king c2, knight a6, knight captures c4. And if that sounds fairly coherent, and it's not my part of mispronouncing things, which I may or may not have done, then I think the microphone works. And so there's a fun little way to test that. And so hopefully this works. Hopefully it brings a new era to our channel in which we have a slightly better quality thing. Of course, this I hope to be the first of many, but we'll take things one step at a time. So stay tuned. We've got a lot of improvements to come, and I will see you in the next video.